Forget Oppenheimer and Barbie. Check the box office numbers for Lionel Messi's debut with Inter Miami. Sold out. Their Leagues Cup debut against Cruz Azul at a Liga MX begins later tonight at 8. Messi, Sergio Busquets headline the new-look Inter Miami squad with Tata Martino at the helm. Nico Cantor from CBS Sports Golazo. Morning Footy joining us from South Florida in that heat out at Drive Pink Stadium to get us ready for the big debut from Lionel Messi. Fist pumping already. Nico, welcome to HQ on a Friday afternoon. In terms of actual playing time, what should we expect from the legendary Messi?
Yeah, thanks guys for having me. Funny enough, my sister asked me yesterday, she sent me a message and she was like, what do you think people are going to watch more, Barbie or Messi's debut? And I started thinking about it. We started running the numbers, projected box office, the people that have to subscribe to Apple Plus to kind of get on the streaming to see Messi's debut. And it's actually pretty close, but I have faith in Messi that Messi's going to break all types of records today. I don't know if he's going to go a full 90. I really doubt that he'll get the start today. He's only been training from the start of this week. He is the greatest footballer of all time, or greatest soccer player of all time. So maybe he doesn't need a full week's training, because a 60% Messi is probably better than every single player out there on the field. But I don't know if the head coach Tata Martino is going to risk it from the very onset. So we might see him in the second half. In fact, I'm pretty confident that he'll come in as a sub and get some playing time. And that's all what these fans came for. Just as a reminder, there's the Leagues Cup on Tuesday at this very same stadium against Atlanta United. So expect Messi to have more of an important role against Atlanta United, but against Cruz Azul today, I do expect some minutes, and this crowd, man, it's going to go wild. This is everything that all soccer fans in South Florida, all soccer fans in the United States, but specifically us, born and raised in South Florida from Latino backgrounds that have idolized Messi. My family's Argentinian. This is like a dream come true, and almost too soon in his career. He's 6 months fresh off of, well, 6 months, 7 months, it's July, fresh off of winning a World Cup. Some may argue still in his prime.
You know, Nico, I can hear the helicopters overhead. They were there at practice for him for his first training day. I imagine they're there for you now because, you know, Messi's not out in the field yet. So, you know, they're keeping an eye on the stars. Now, demand for tickets, as you mentioned, a lot of fans, they're going to be going crazy. Have you seen anything like this here in the States where we're getting an average ticket price for like $700 for a soccer match?
It's honestly, it's crazy. Maybe in South Florida for the typical Miami sports fan that's a huge backer of the Dolphins, of the Miami Heat, Florida Panthers, it may not move the needle too much, but overnight around the globe, I'm fairly confident. I think we can safely infer that Inter Miami has become the most recognizable global sports brand of Miami. I have friends that are in Israel right now. I have friends that are in Venice, Italy right now, and they're seeing Inter Miami Messi jerseys being sold. So this club that was, you know, they're the worst in the Eastern Conference at the moment in Major League Soccer, overnight they became the center of the soccer world with Messi's arrival, and that it's demanding from an administrative level, from a logistics level, and from a sporting level. So it's no wonder that the ticket prices have shot up, because everybody in Miami wants to get a front row seat to this spectacle. 7 months back, I was at the Lusail Stadium in Doha, Qatar, watching Messi lift a World Cup. It was an 80,000 seat stadium where the ticket prices were nearing that price range. And here, I mean, look at it. Let's be honest, at best, this is a high school football stadium, a high school American football stadium from like Texas or something like that. So it's a really high demand because there's not that many people that are going to be able to sit here. Over to my left, there's temporary bleachers that have been put in because everybody in Miami wants to be at Lionel Messi's debut.
And you mentioned the impact and the growth. 10 million Instagram followers now for Inter Miami, which is more than the entire MLS combined. All right, now we know the resume of Messi, but at the age of 36, can he become the best player in the MLS?
I don't know if he can become the best player in Major League Soccer history, but definitely the most impactful. His time at MLS will definitely not tarnish his legacy at all. It can definitely help a little bit, but Messi's completed soccer, guys, at this point. He won the World Cup, and everything that he does from here on out is almost merely anecdotal, right? But the impact that he's going to have into this league, he'll be a sellout attraction in every single city that he visits. And not only that, after his playing time, there's a clause in his contract that's triggered, and there's an ownership percentage that he has a stake in this club. So yeah, you could say that the soccer, he might not end up being the most influential on the field. Maybe Inter Miami might not win an MLS Cup with Messi at the helm, but at the end of the day, more people than ever are going to be watching Major League Soccer, and it's going to be because of Messi.
You mentioned Inter Miami, 12 points out of a playoff spot with 12 games left to go in league play. Realistically, what kind of damage can they do? Is it possible to turn this around, not only with Messi, but guys like Busquets and now a new manager in Tata Martino?
Look, if you're a betting man, I would say put some money on Inter Miami making the playoffs, because it's probably a good payout. It's going to be a monumental task, more than a marathon for these guys, but like you mentioned, they are adding players, not only Busquets and Jordi Alba, but as well young talent from Latin America in Facundo Farias from Argentina and Diego Gomez from Paraguay. Head coach Tata Martino used to manage Libertad, the team that Gomez is coming from, so he still has strong links to Latin America. And if you remember too, when he was the head coach of Atlanta United, that's kind of how his team built up a champion-winning performance, and they ended up winning MLS Cup. I don't know if that'll happen right now, because it is a pretty big gap from the bottom of the East to kind of clinch a playoff spot in Major League Soccer. That honestly, some would say it would be easy to make the playoffs in Major League Soccer for any team, because it's really generous. That's the word I was looking for. It's a generous league where more teams make the playoffs than not, but I don't know if MLS Cup is the correct path for Inter Miami to win a title, because they have a Leagues Cup, which who knows, maybe they could win it, but Inter Miami is 2 games away from winning US Open Cup. They're already in the semifinals. That's the domestic cup of US soccer, kind of like the FA Cup in England, and they're only 2 games away. They're already in a semifinal, and suddenly now they have Messi and all these new players, and that's being broadcast on CBS Sports Golazo Network, so check it out. It's on our air. Messi will be playing on our airwaves, and that's probably his best shot at a title with this club.
Nico, thank you so much. Go get in that AC. Appreciate you joining the show. You can catch Nico Cantor and the gang on Morning Footy's podcast. They dive into the biggest matches and storylines. Find it for free on the CBS Sports app.